How do you want to be when you grow old? I wish you were sitting across from me, and I wish I could watch your face as you try to imagine, as you close your eyes or you try to tell me, what do you want to be like? How do you want to be? And by that I mean qualities of character. Someone who's courageous, someone who's creative, someone who discovers their talent at a very, very old age and expresses it. I want you to think. It also helps imagining yourself, imagining or bringing to mind someone you know who represents the kind of person you would want to be when you're in your 70s, 80s, 90s, even 100. And we all know too well the old people who complain and crank and make a bad name for age. And that's the most frightening thing in our life, is to age, when it could be beautiful and it could be graceful and it could be the most brilliant years of your life. I keep in mind someone, maybe you heard of her. She only turned to art when she was 78 years old. Otherwise, all her life, she had been a hardworking farm wife, raised 5 children. There were 10 children, 5 died. Always busy baking bread and feeding the chickens and cooking and baking. And she had no time to think about her old age. And then when she was in her late 60s, she lost her husband and she had to start thinking. And then a few years later, she lost the power of her hands. And so the farm work became harder, embroidery became harder. By the time she was 78, some God-given power, the spirit within her, the soul within her, made her sit down and start painting. And by that, and by who I am talking about, Grandma Moses. So at 78, she picked up a mason board and some paints around the house and started painting from her imagination, which turned out to be an amazing imagination. And with amazing skill, despite her arthritis. What happened is she became, within 2 or 3 years, extremely famous, but she did not set out to be extremely famous or even famous at all. Like, she did not follow celebrities. She followed what had to be done on the farm, what she had to do. And what she had to do after she lost her husband and the power in her hands, to find something that it transformed her life for good. And that it most certainly did, because it also benefited the world. So I'm not going to talk about her accomplishments so much. That you can look up. Just a few from the top of my mind would be that at 80 she had her first showing in New York City, and she just decided not to go. She said, "I've already seen my paintings. I don't need to see them." So that humility, that simplicity, even when she's obviously starting to rise to fame, she chose to stay home in the farmhouse and go back to her mason board and to paint, to touch her soul, to touch her creativity. I won't mention also at length that she, at 88 years old, she was Woman of the Year from Mademoiselle magazine. Or that she married Harry Truman. Finally, she left her farmhouse to meet Harry Truman. Or that at the year 100, she was on the cover of Life magazine. Or postage stamps, because none of that, I'm not saying it didn't mean something to her later, but she sat down to do something because there was grief, being lonesome, without her husband, loss of hands, loss of her abilities, and yet she did this beautiful, beautiful transformation that brought joy to other people and inspired other people. She's inspired me. Here I am, 75 years old, just had my birthday 2 days ago, doing YouTube videos. Oh my goodness, how odd, without the technological prowess that some of the people have, without the social media skills that people have. But again, truly, truly, without the ambition of becoming famous. Just to talk to you, and I wish I could see your face now when I ask you, how do you want to be when you grow old? What do you envision? And I truly, truly hope that these few minutes will bring you to understand that now we have to start cultivating those inner qualities we desire. Whether it's the courage of a Grandma Moses, whether it's that simplicity, that understanding of the sacred life. She made a spiritual practice every day of painting and produced 2 paintings a week from connecting to herself. Please keep that in mind when you start to fear old age, We all do. We all do. But it can be a beautiful, beautiful experience. And you can ask yourself that question. How do I want to be when I get old, when I am old? And without racing to the plastic surgeon to sculpture your face, you can already begin to sculpture the inside life that you want to live, the love that you have within you, the beautiful resources that you have that can become manifest as you grow older with wisdom and with beauty. Thank you so much for watching, for listening. And I don't know if Grandma Moses said it, subscribe and like, pass on to friends, and let's make a little community of those who are not fearing old age, or we fear it and we do something to overcome it. Thank you so much.